And on thermal.
Yeah. I just touched down.
1, 2, 3 in the place to be. 1, 2, 3 in the place to be.
White Sands.
In the place to be.
Every nice room.
Oh, what's up?
I don't think I'm coming back, man. Ain't coming back to the States, man.
We on?
Almost. You good?
1 second.
Buzz, getting his earbud. All right.
Yeah, we hear you.
Now I get you. What's good, brothers?
What's going on?
What's good?
We on, guys?
Yep.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the place to be. I'm your host, Adam L. And this is the podcast Guess I'll Stand. To the right and left of me is.
Got sick cuz the governor.
Paul and Bisley already know what's up.
Yeah.
And we got a special guest in the building, man, from New York all the way down to the Dmvs. I mean, just to the East Coast. Who needs no introduction. Rod, or Bliz, if I said that right.
You did.
Okay, I've been saying this wrong for years.
A lot of people have. People have been substituting the Z's for S's.
Yeah, exactly.
Bliz and all that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll let y'all rock.
What's going on, man? Finally met.
Finally.
Blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Absolutely.
I mean, on this show, we're going to be talking about some things. First and foremost, what you got going on with music and everything else. And then we're going to switch over to P. Diddy, unfortunately. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, all right, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Like, you know, your upbringing and where you was born and you know what I'm saying, so forth and so forth.
Yeah. So, a little something brief about me. I'm originally from New York, Long Island, New York, which is like if anybody hasn't done their research, like especially when it comes to hip hop history, you know, that's the home of like EPMD, Biz Markie, Public Enemy, De La Soul, you know, Keith Murray, so on and so forth. So really was just, you know, raised there, you know, got my, you know, bones a little bit there. You know, the late 90s, I moved to Baltimore, you know, lived there for like 15 years where I linked up with the likes of Sick Cuz, you know, through a mutual friend of ours, brother of ours, Brian Bacardi, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
And, you know, just been, you know, making, you know, my way through the scene there, and, you know, I eventually linked up with the other half of the production duo, the labor department, what would become the labor department, you know, Frank Diggs, and yeah, from there, you know, there was, you know some relationships that, you know, I gathered from there, which led to, you know, production, you know, placements with like Mac, well, not necessarily a placement with Mac Miller, but with Redman. And yeah, and the rest is what it is now.
That's some big names, man. So Diggs, the holler at the street, man.
Word.
You said a couple influences back in the day, which was like normal for everybody. Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, EPMD.
Right.
How did they influence you? Like, because I know in '88, my first rhyme that I knew by heart before I even cared about hip hop. You know, you just a kid, an '80s kid running around playing fire hydrants and, you know what I'm saying, playing 7-Eleven with the fat girls and all that type of stuff. Mine was KRS-One, Philosophy.
Yeah.
I knew that song by heart so much that the old heads would gather around in a circle like, yo, kick that for me. Like if it was my rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So how was your like first experience, like when you first heard EPMD or Rakim was like, oh snap, you know what I'm saying? Give us that experience.
It was wild. Especially with Rakim. Like I want to say about 10 years old. But like I had been but my first like experience with hip hop was really like, when I was about, I want to say about 3 years old, because my father would bring back like the, Grandmaster Flash Furious 5 records and Cold Crush tapes and stuff like that. But later on, like when I was like really getting into it, like I'd say like first hearing Rakim, especially with my melody, like it was just something different because everybody else was, every other rapper was kind of like animated, or at least just had a higher tone of voice during that time.
Yeah.
That would they would express themselves a little bit more aggressively, whereas Rakim was like more laid back and more relaxed and more conscious of the words that he was using, and also was what he later explained as to be like a cadence that he would learn from jazz artists. Like he did that with his bars. That was fascinating to me. Like I didn't really get it at 10, but just a lot was happening back then. But just hearing like how laid back his tone was, how relaxed he was, that did a lot. I was like, this is crazy. Then I found out, later on that he was, from Wine Dance Long Island, which is, a good like 20 minutes to a half hour from where I grew up.
Yeah.
So, that meant a lot. And then like EPMD came after that, with You Got to Chill. And I'm like, this is now like taking on another, like another dimension, of hip hop. You know what I mean? So I was, thinking about it now. It still amazes me how blown away, I was back then by those guys. So
I think he dropped the album lately too. Rakim. I think he did. We did a review on LL, man. Check that out too. He dropped something.
Mm-hmm.
I think he followed a lot of styles, bro. Like him, Cool G Rap. You hear Nas, and, you hear they bought the Nas, they bought the AZs, the Jay-Zs, because when you listen to Rakim, like you said, it's more like he's talking to you, like he's giving you lessons. Like he's teaching you at the same time. I mean, I give credit to Terrorize One, but at the same time, Rakim was like on a different level. It's like I'm gonna talk and you're gonna listen, you're gonna learn from it. You know what I'm saying? And it was easy to digest, but at the same time, clever. You said your uncle was in a group called Cameo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So explain that, man, because I think you told me that was like some influence on you too. As far as Cameo, me and Gov was just having a talk before you got on, and Gov said auto-tune wasn't invented when Cameo was out. And I was telling him that the dude had like a unique voice for some type of reason, man. He didn't sound like nobody that we was used to hearing at the time.
Yeah, back then, like they had like 11, 12 members, something like that. Like before Word Up came out and it was, condensed to just 3 members. Like they had like 11, 12 members or whatever. So, but just my influence really, or just my exposure to the music game was my uncle. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking I was about like probably like 5, 6 years old. That was my first time ever seeing gold plaques in person.
Nice.
So
what did he play?
He was a background singer.
Okay.
Like if you look on the like this is an album called Feel Me. Like if you look on the album cover, he's the brother who's kneeling down with the blue jumpsuit, and red hat and the glasses.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out.
Yeah. So, but just seeing him then, like, and also like seeing him on Soul Train and stuff like that, like that was a spark for me to actually like get in the game. I didn't know what I was gonna be doing at that time. I knew I was like very into music. Like I was always like into like a bunch of instruments and stuff like that. But like hip hop wasn't, like rapping wasn't really in the forefront just yet.
Right.
But music definitely was. I just didn't know what I was gonna be doing in it. But that was like the first source of inspiration. Yeah, so it was dope. You know what I mean? Like even throughout the neighborhood, they're like, oh yeah, your uncle did, your uncle.
Yeah.
Like with a gold selling group like Cameo was like touring all over the country. You know what I'm saying? Like over the world and coming back like everybody's just jumping in when they jock. Like it's crazy to see it at such a young age. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm glad I didn't see more than what I saw. It probably would have. Yeah, it probably would have. I don't know what to say, traumatized.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that that it's a real thing at an early age. You know what I mean? Because like say, a lot of people are coming up in a situation where they don't see anything but what's around them. You know what I mean? So the only thing that you can aspire to be is to be a part of that. So it's good to be able to see that at an early age. So when it came to like say a lot of that, your influences, how did that influence when it came down when you started making your music? When you go through your travels, you got a nice catalog when you break down, look at Bandcamp. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, nah, good looking. But that's a good question. It's like, what got me to take it seriously? I mean, because I started in '88, but I didn't really take it seriously until like '91, and that was because my cousin, you know what I'm saying? My cousin Mixed Stags, him and his man were rapping themselves. They were rhyming themselves, and he was telling me about this guy from Jive Records just at the time. So coming to check them out and stuff like that, and bring them to the office. Right. So I didn't hear anything from him yet, and then he started spitting. I'm like, oh, okay, he's more skilled than I am. Like I'm just messing around, but like he's nice. So yeah, let me get on my job and really try to,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Try to get up to at least his level. You know what I mean? So, but as all of that translates to now, with the music that I've done, a lot of it is what I've learned from being around Diggs, being around Rob McCarty, you know what I'm saying, being around, Koa, just, the rest of the, the rest of the crew. And also, from DJ Mike Smooth, which is actually, a brother that I was recording with prior to, meeting Diggs or meeting McCarty, meeting Koa and everybody else. Right. Just to provide context, DJ Mike Smooth is Lord Finesse old DJ. So I used to record him in Harlem and stuff like that. I used to record in his spot, and so after moving to Be More, of course, that's when I started getting up with everybody else. But it's like everything that I learned, like just being productive and things, just songs just coming from like a vibe or from any kind of random thing.
Yeah,
like that's what I learned how to do in order to keep having fun with it. So I guess that's why the catalog is as big as it is. Like I never really thought about how big it actually was, but that's just part of what went into that.
Now the labor department, if I'm saying it right, what do that consist of, right? And as far as the production on your projects, are you involved solely on the projects, like you just doing the production by yourself, or is it like a team effort, like different producers putting their hands in the studio?
Well, labor department is myself and Diggs, so a lot of it is like done myself. A lot of and some of it is done collaboratively, or even if I do like a lot of it myself, I'm always running it by Diggs. Just be like, okay, this fly with this fly with this fly. Because our name is attached to it, so you always want to make sure that I get, the opinion of, because it is a partnership, it is a unit. You know what I'm saying? It's not, about me, like heading the label. Like neither one of us are actually like the head of it. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to consider his input before I even do anything. So that's pretty much what goes into, what I put out. You want to make sure if he's good, then I'm good. So, but yeah, to answer your question, a lot of it is like, some of it is done collaboratively. Some of it is a lot of it is done by myself. Or even if he has something to offer, then I'll do that too. And I'm like, great, I could just rap. I don't need to do anything else. So. I hope that answers your question.
Like I was telling Gov before, in the game, right, it's beautiful to be with what I consider a two-way player. You can play defense and offense. Like, what's his name for the Clippers, man? Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi.
Yep. I consider you and Gov like Kawhi Leonard for the game. Y'all can produce beats. Y'all can spit bars. A lot of people can spit bars but can't produce a beat to say they like. A lot of people that could spit a bar but can't produce a beat to say they like. Vice versa, right? What I was about to say. So, what's more enjoyable to you, or making a beat, or spitting or correcting the song itself, like spitting the bars behind it?
For me, it's spitting the bars. Like producing is something that I did out of necessity. Because as a youngin', and even like coming up, like I didn't have a bunch of money to pay producers to to shout out the beat. You know what I mean? And even if I could get at these producers, they're still like, yo, look, let me get back to you, whatever it is. I got such and such to do, such and such to do. Jive Records is calling, yada yada yada. So yeah, I had to really just do it out of necessity. But yeah, rhyming, like rhyming, that's my first love when it comes to that. Production, I love it too. Like I love the whole process. Just to create everything from beginning to end, from the beats to the rhymes to the mixing to the interludes and what have you. Like a lot of again, it goes back to what I've experienced with working with Diggs and seeing how he created these projects, and how he created these projects were pretty much like reminiscent of all the stuff that we came up listening to. You know what I mean? Right. And we talk about like our favorite records, like, oh, okay, yeah. So this is how this was done together. I'm like, yeah, this is somebody who actually gets it. So
he studies it. He's a student.
Just getting more, like a real student. So just being a student of the game, like that's what helps the process. But yeah, rhyming is my first love when it comes to that.
So okay, another question. Now, have you ever made beats for a particular artist? And how was that process? Because like everybody has a certain vibe that they bring to the table, right? Mm-hmm. Like this artist, he may be more, and I'm speaking of new school terms, he may be more or less boom bappish, more emo, or this person may have more of a vibe to him. So has there ever been like a struggle making beats for like certain artists?
Sometimes it was. Like, put it like this, like, I never really gave it too much thought, but the times when I actually was like really just, trying to get, beats in rappers' hands, or even, if I was working with somebody on the spot, like they'd be, honest criticism, like, yo, this is not it. All right, great, that's cool. Like at first I was a little sensitive about it, but now I'm like, over the years I was just like, okay, that's cool. Maybe we'll try something else. But I'd say this, like I submitted a few joints quite a few joints for Redman. Some of them, I'm saying, like there's a good amount of them that didn't fly, but the ones that did, they're like, okay, Bliz, take that out and leave this in. Yeah. All right, great. Otherwise, there really wasn't so much of an issue, because it wasn't like I wasn't necessarily like, I don't know, like getting in the game, so to speak. I don't know what you necessarily want to call it, because a lot of those times were spent with, with the collective. Diggs, Koa, and, Crown City, and those guys, like. But the most enjoyable, like I say this, like the most enjoyable times were like in the Franklin Mansion, even in the governor's mansion. When it was in another spot. Remember that joint we did together? I forgot what happened to that. There's a joint we did together.
I remember. Yeah, I can't find it.
Yeah, I couldn't find it either. Like I was going through a bunch of CDs. Like,
don't be serious, dude, or something like that, right? You gotta be serious, dude. Getting in the way and getting this loot, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But it was like,
don't do no bonehead ish like I did, bro. Delete the goddamn music off the email permanently. Then when you try to recover it, it says that you're unable to get it due to two terms: corrupted files, or the person that you got the email from, the music, is no longer available. But yeah, but some producers, man, they lead you into that world like Havoc. Like, you know, when you hear a beat from Havoc or a beat from Q-Tip, some producers tell the artist, like, look, you came to me for production, so you got to enter my world. Right. You get what I'm saying? So, because I think it's sometimes, not saying that the producer is uncomfortable traveling, going into that MC's world, but for the most part, you know, rappers go to the producer to enter their world because they have a signature sound.
Yeah.
That make any sense. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, like when I hear beat from you, man, I know that's your beat because you had that raw New York train tracks, rats jumping over popcorn shit type beat. You know what I'm saying? I get that cold element feeling. Like when I get Gov, I listen to Gov, it's more of a southern / go-go type of feel. You can tell actually what city that person come from when you hear that production, which is rare nowadays because when you go online and which I do, everybody sounds the same. All you gotta do is type in Drake type beat. Yeah. You got a whole slew of producers sounding like what Drake would sound like, but it's like mediocre type of,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Corny like almost.
Yeah, the Timo versions.
Right.
Exactly. Clothes like a mom, you know? Get into the album, man. My favorite is Pray in One Hand and Piss in the Other. Like I was telling Gov, that's a classic to me. I actually purchased that.
I appreciate you.
No doubt. Pray for, and you got one called For Good Measure. Yeah. And then the latest one you have now is called, how you pronounce it? Football. That's like beyond repair, damage. Like that.
Yeah, it's an acronym.
Yeah.
Right. F'd up beyond repair, F'd up beyond recognition.
Yeah, that's what I'm
a military term.
That's what I mean, Puff going through. Shoot. Oh man.
Well, he did that to himself.
Yeah. And that's damage beyond repair. Right. The standout joints I got on there was, let me read it out. Play This Game Alone. Beyond All Repair. They the two standouts I got, and allow me to demonstrate. There's 11 joints on there, right? If you ever watch our rap reviews, God, what's the most thing I complain about? Too many damn songs. So you put it right there with 11 songs. You get what I'm saying? Especially in today's time when somebody's attention span is like a mice, a brain of a rodent. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't sit down and pay attention for goddamn 10 seconds. You hit it right in the nose with 11 songs. I appreciate that, man. 11 bangers. 11 bangers, man. Continue to do work, man. So, real quick, man, before we go to Puff, what was the process of making this album? Different from the last one with Pray in One Hand and Piss in the Other, which is my favorite.
I appreciate it. It was more therapeutic than anything. Like, football was just more like it was a more therapy. So I mean, Pray in One Hand was too, but football was more just like, let me just get out what the last of what I have to say about, I don't know, like let me get this last therapy session out, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But and then there's like a few there's a few joints in there too, like Perfect, and like Perfect and Let Me Take You, just kind of like giving people a glimpse of of other parts of me, you know what I'm saying? But really, like, the process really was really just keep it like as short and concise, not too short but like not too long, because I just recognized that a lot of the people who are listening to my stuff are really just grown people who don't really have that much time to be entertained. So I had to, keep that in mind and really just, keep it down to 11 joints for that reason. But for those like 11 tracks, I just wanted to, be a whole ride. You know what I mean? For like a nice half hour, So that's what I was thinking about.
Definitely replay value. I like Perfect too because it displays a story about a perfect female that's not used to being in your world and you're not used to being in her world.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all can attest to that at one point in time in our life. You get what I'm saying?
True.
It's sarcasm, but it's sarcasm for the most part. Like, okay, yeah, you have nothing to be accountable for. You're an angel. You deserve all the things in the world, and I'm just, I'm just a POS. You know what I'm saying? I'm a peon. And I'm just broke. So, whatever. You just go ahead and fly. Let me not step on your toes. You know what I'm saying? Let me not hold you back from what you really want to get.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure if it's gonna be realistic. You know what I'm saying, for you, but whatever. Good luck.
Yeah,
I'll be all right. So that's where that was coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
That's what I find out. It's very relatable. The album is very relatable. Like you can relate on many levels because there's many especially like to me like the central theme, especially when it comes to just you got to stand on your own too. You know what I mean? That's like the central theme that I catch from it. So I think like that's like the biggest takeaway out of anything because everybody else trying to find all these little excuses and I'm gonna blame this and I'm gonna put it all on that and it's all on my tears and nah. You're like, nah, I don't got time for all of that. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that I've always appreciated, especially when it comes to this one and praying one hand, pissing the other. Especially when it comes to that one. You know what I mean? Like that's like the strongest message that I'm catching out of all of those. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what's missing out of that's what's really missing out of the game today. When you think about like the mainstream music, most of it just pretty much one ear, one out the other. I can't relate with most of it.
Mainstream music is so watered down, man. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the real artist always been an artist. I don't like to use the term underground. I hate that. We ain't groundhog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We artists. You know what I'm saying? Right. The real music always been the real music, and the fake music always been on the radio. Right. And there's no shout out to people who make anthems and make radio hits. We understand the game and the nature of the music business, but the real music been outside the radio, and the fake music been to the mass. One day somebody told me back in the day that Nelly was the female on the job said that Nelly is the greatest rapper of all time. I said, how so? You couldn't even break it down. Oh, because he got more hits. I said, that don't make him the dopest rapper of all time. And I realized who I was talking to, and she wouldn't know hip hop was bit on her ass, my friend. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what we always been dealing with. Right. We got like a few minutes left, so I guess this topic will be shorter than what Puff will be in jail for. Time spent. All right, I'm gonna go first, man. The Puff Daddy situation. Yeah. He got a lot of allegations, man. I know that went back since '91 with him and Ern Hall with the rape word. I mean, cut that out. The R word. Allegations, man. Like they said, a young lady, John Dane, John Doe, John Dane. That's what you call it.
John Doe.
Yeah, thank you. This stuff get edited anyway. So the young lady claimed that allegedly Puff and Ern Hall at the meeting at MCA record event that the R word that they forced their weight on her. Then you got fast forward, you got what's his name, Rodney Jones, aka Little Rod Pod. Then you got Cassie, and then they found kilos of baby oil in the man's house. It ain't looking good for him, man. It ain't looking good for Puff, man. So what do y'all think real quick? I'm gonna let you go first. Then I'm gonna let Quan Bizzle go, and then I'm gonna let our special guest, Rod the Bliz, go on these topics. We gotta hit them real fast because I think we got like 5 minutes left. So Gov, what do you think, man, about the Puff situation?
I was never a Puffy fan. I never liked. I don't think I know a single verse. I may know some Biggie verses. That's about it. You know what I mean? But I never was a fan of Bad Boy and the rest of that whole thing because I don't know. It was about something to me. It was taking everything away from actual what hip hop was. Like they were taking a lot. Like say from you were getting great rhymers. You know what I mean? But I didn't like the way that a lot of the imaging and everything else that was going on at the time, and then now when you're looking at the background and you're seeing all the things that was going on behind the scenes, it makes a lot more sense to me when you see what was going on, and it reminds me of Hugh Hefner. It's got a whole lot of these things.
Yeah, they got him on Suicide Watch too. Well, like our man, what's his name? The dude that hung himself. Hung himself.
Jeffrey.
They said he hung himself. I don't believe he hung himself, but that's another story for another time. They said hip hop died when Puff fell off the bike. Well, if there's anything else you want to elaborate on, Gov, man, about this Puff situation real quick.
I mean,
because I know we speeding through it.
Yeah. I don't really got much to add. It's unfortunate. It's good. I mean, for the victims, all people those victims, I'm pretty sure they glad to see a lot of these things finally. Yeah. Like, because they weren't being listened to back when all this.
You think they're gonna do him like R. Kelly? You think that, because look, he's 56 years old, man. Yeah. Anything that's over 15 years is a death sentence for dude, man. He's gonna be in there for life.
Right, I don't think they care about that.
Yeah. It may be a rap for old Puff. Paul Bizzle, what you think, man?
I don't know. All I know, I don't want to know what he was doing with all that baby oil. I'm not gonna lie. All that baby. The minute I heard that he's keeping a whole stash of baby oil and he also has weapons with that, like, how does weapons and baby oil go hand in hand? I don't know.
Maybe he running some underground oil wrestling ring or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the UFC oil wrestling challenge. I don't know.
I think he's gonna get away with it, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I think everyone's hyping it up, like, with the Tupac case. Again, when they got Keefy D and everything like that, they had him locked up for a while, and everyone's hyping it up, like, Tupac's finally gonna get his justice, and Diddy finally got caught, and that case went cold again, So
yeah, I think it's no different though, man. I think Puff got money, so they're gonna drain him for every resource he got.
Man.
Put him away.
They've been trying to drain this man for almost 30 years. This man, they didn't catch him back.
Pause, man. It's a big
And they didn't do it back then. They're not gonna do it now. But that's all I gotta say. I just feel like everyone's hyping it up. It's not gonna be.
All right, Rod, man. We got 1 minute left, man. What you think, real quick?
It's a slippery situation for Paul. But literally and figuratively. But not for real. Like, I know we ain't got much time left, but yeah, it's just all across the board football. You know what I mean? And there's gonna be, it's gonna open up a lot when it comes to other people involved. I'm sure there's gonna be like at least 100 more industry heads, artists, favorite rappers, you know what I'm saying, who are gonna be brought to light, because of this. So it'll be interesting to see. But a lot of the behind the scenes stuff was really just kept under wraps, and now we just really
man,
exactly how it unfolds.
Coming back to Harlem.
This guy got it's the chickens are gonna come home to roost. So we'll see how it unfolds.
Exactly. All right, man. This is the segment Guess What I Said. I'm your host, Adam Milton. Right next to me is
the governor.
And Quan Bizzle, what's up?
And we enjoyed our special guest, man, Rod the Bliz. Where can they find you, man? Where can they find your music?